Hi, Steve. Tell us
Hi.
about your book.
Okay, my book, Heavyweight Title Fights of the 1980s, which is available for pre-order now, it is pretty much what it says on the tin. It covers the whole of that decade, looking at the heavyweight division in boxing. So starting at the beginning of the 1980s, the structure of it, we cover 46 fights. There are 46 fights across that decade that were billed or advertised as for one version or another of the World Heavyweight title. There's 46 articles covering each of those fights. But really, the story is mainly about the characters and the storylines more so than just the fights themselves. So at the beginning of that decade, you've got Larry Holmes and him struggling to escape the shadow of Muhammad Ali. And then, of course, Holmes goes on to establish himself, his own dominance, and establish himself as a great champion in his own right. At the same time as that's going on, you've got the WBA title changing hands frequently among the heavyweights that were later came to be known as the lost generation of heavyweights of that era. Moving towards the mid-80s, Larry Holmes was coming to the end of his era and struggling to hold on to the title as he chased Rocky Marciano's record. So we cover that. And then, of course, the two controversial fights with Michael Spinks and Larry Holmes' era coming to its end at the top of the game at least. And at that point, really, we switch into the second half of the book where we've got the emergence of Mike Tyson and we have the HBO unification series. And those two things go hand in hand as Tyson kind of tears his way through the heavyweight division and cleans up and unifies the division. And then right towards the end of the decade, of course, the cracks start to appear in Tyson's professional life and his personal life. And it's a good place to end, really, because the first title fight of the next decade was his historic loss to Buster Douglas. So that kind of sums up, there is an overarching narrative across those 46 fights, and it is a fascinating period and an underappreciated period in heavyweight boxing. So will you be buying it, Sam?
Oh, absolutely. Can you just tell us the title?
As I mentioned at the start, the title is Heavyweight Title Fights of the 1980s, available to pre-order wherever you get your books from.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.